Evening, kittens and toms. How you all doing? Just waiting for Jessica Parker, who knows everything and anything about sex, to come on. So any minute now. Let me find her. Where is she? Just waiting. How is everyone? If anyone's got any questions, please send them over. Done. Just waiting for. Hi there. Don't know where she is. Where to find her? Oh, here she is. Hang on one second. Any second now. She should come in. Then I can stop talking bollocks. Yay!
Hey, we did it!
How are you doing? I know, I'm always like that beginning bit. I'm always like, no one wants to hear me talking. I'm just going to keep talking to myself until someone interesting joins me.
I'm sure your small talk is amazing.
No, it's not. It's How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's nice and warm. It feels like balmy night almost.
I know, it's sticky today, isn't it? Well, the thing is, it's the end of summer. I love it.
Yeah, it's into
Love it, love it. So anyway, for most people will know who you are, because we talk about you a lot, and you do a lot for KK. It's like Jessica Parker. So I always kind of get a tongue twister, a sexological body worker. He does so many workshops for us, which we'll go through later, from mindful masturbation to penis massage. What else? Pussy massage. I think you're doing an anal one for us. Name a body part, and you know how to play with it. Basically. So, for people who don't know, what is a sexological body worker?
Well, I think I actually need a rebranding, because this word is part of my toolbox. So, and sexological bodywork, it doesn't really tell you much, or it's sort of, it's a bit hard. And if you need to explain it, then maybe you might need a bit of rebranding. So either way, sexological bodywork is basically practical sex ed for adults. So all the stuff that we weren't really taught in school. So normally, we talk about prevention, protection, all the bad stuff, all the horrible pictures that you see of all sorts of infections, how to put a condom on a banana. And generally there's this whole, segment that's missed out, and that's pleasure, or that's about sort of consent and how to listen to your body, or that's maybe about how to ask for what you want, or boundaries, and
or anything to do with female sexuality.
All the other fun stuff about sexuality and the massive spectrum that it is. So sexological bodywork is basically, I work with individuals and people in relationships, so couples or triads or whatever configuration you're in, and basically people come to me to feel their own bodies in a new way, or learn something more. So you don't have to have an issue. You may just want more ejaculation choice, or you may have issues such as premature ejaculation, low libido, issues with orgasm, or post-labor, post-birth scar tissue remediation that might need help with. So basically, I work with people to get them back. I support them to get on a track to really find their own pleasure journey, and what that might look like. It will be very different for everyone almost. So there's not sort of one program that fits all. So I use a lot of different sort of my, a toolbox in a way of different skills, a skill set to actually support people through. Yeah,
someone just asked, is it comparable to Tantra massage?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I'll try to be diplomatic.
No.
So sexological bodywork is one-way touch, and that's not massage. We can teach people, how to touch themselves a new way, but it's mostly about a sort of a therapist relationship, where we talk, and there may be some body work, but it's not sort of the focus is on educational work. So it might be vulva mapping, which is learning about your own anatomy. So all that sort of educational, empowering information. It's not giving a sensual massage. I'm qualified and experienced in doing that. So I put on lots of different hats depending what people come to me for or what they might need. So it's very separate. I guess the word tantra in my world can be dissected into a lot of different connotations and different meanings. In London especially, you can get anything and everything, and the word tantra could mean anything and everything. So it depends on people's different experiences or different interpretations of what tantra is. So the umbrella term that I use is pleasure and sensuality, because I find that works, that can tap into a lot, sort of a wider spectrum without sort of mystifying things or making it a little bit unattainable or magical, which sex and bodywork can be, not disregarding that, but it can also, it doesn't have to be. And that's why language can be really important, particularly naming our body parts.
Yeah, and with tantra, you kind of, a lot of people get an image of Sting in a weird position, not coming for 5 hours. So, we're like, no one wants that.
No. And, I've worked with a lot of clients who have done, non-ejaculation challenges and tried to test themselves not ejaculating for many days because of different theories. And depending on, the person, that may work, that may be interesting, that may be interesting for them to discover and try. But I've also worked with the other spectrum that then they've got numbness, and then they've got a lot more other issues from this trying to control the body's natural response. So in my world, tantra is, from my understanding, a combination of Indian philosophy and American psychology. And it was sort of made more popular with the West, the sexy side of Tantra, made more popular in the West in the 70s. And then you had sort of lots of different sort of neo-tantric movements. And then I think as time has gone on, it's sort of been diluted in the true sort of teachings of what it was. But we can learn from this evolving sort of, all these evolving practices, which are really body focused as well, the focusing on the senses, which is what a lot of the work I sort of do as well.
Yeah.
How did you need rebranding?
How did you get into it? Because most people don't sit there at school and go, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't either.
No, I definitely did not go to my career thing and go, when I grow up, I'm going to organise orgies. That never came out of my mouth.
No.
Here we are. So yeah.
Life has this whole thing. Yeah, the beauty of it is that you can follow your own your own skill set. So my skill set always, I had a natural way with making people feel calm and listened to, and sort of using, and I was really excited about making experiences or environments that help people to experience their senses in a different way. So I did event management, lots of creative, fun events. And then I got into sports and remedial massage. So I became qualified in pretty much every single type of massage that you can think of, from pregnancy to, more energy work, to scar remediation, to more physio stuff. So I could really understand the whole body, literally from the inside out.
Yeah.
And then a lot of my clients, I found, when I did do the hands-on body work, and they say that massage therapists, personal trainers, and hairdressers, they're the people that are sort of unrecognized counselors of the world.
Yeah.
And that's what I was finding. So I was finding that a lot of my clients were talking to me about their relationship problems, about their body problems, about all sorts of range of issues. And because I was from a sort of neutral perspective, giving, well, they wanted advice, but I didn't feel I had a lot of practice at helping them sort of recognize maybe their loss of perspective of their own wisdom.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we sort of try and seek validation or seek other people's wisdom for them to tell us what's wrong with us. Like that's sort of quite a Western medical way. We go to get fixed by an external source, which is definitely valid and needed, you know, majority of the time. But what we have lost is this listening to our inner sort of gut, our inner wisdom, and having the space and time to listen, to allow that to come through. So for some reason, you know, doing meditation and yoga and all these sort of things myself, I was quite connected to that inner wisdom. So I thought I didn't want to be a talking counselor, a talking therapist, because I thought the power of body work was so not instant, but it was so powerful. So sometimes when people are in their heads, they can, you know, maybe go to the Himalayas and meditate, but they're still going to be busy.
Yeah.
So the tangible release of tension in your body can help you sort of align, you know, to get balance in a quicker, more sort of, tangible way. So I always wanted to work with bodies anyway, and not just with heads and talking. So yeah, I then continued to study whatever I found that sort of served those purposes, those goals, because I didn't want to just go and do any old course just for the sake of getting a qualification, and I didn't have the luxury of time. To become, you know, a doctorate in psychology or sex counseling, you know, to get really, really deep, it can take quite a while. So yeah, that's where I discovered sexological bodywork, which seemed to be a combination of bodywork and talking therapy. And then I sort of continued doing embodied counseling and things like that. So sort of adding little bits as I go.
And that, can you, because a few people are asking, can you actually train? Yeah, can you train in that, or is it something that with all the massage you do and then the just mixing everything that you've done and trained and just life, basically that's how it comes about? Or is there can you actually go and train in that specific area?
Yeah, you can do it. You can get certified in sexological bodywork, and that's, you know, that's a recognized qualification. Obviously, in a more mainstream type setting, there is no known qualification which I know about that really combines both bodywork in a holistic way and the sort of psychological sort of side in a holistic way. You can get really clinical psychology or very clinical, you know, pelvic floor remedial therapists and things like that, but to have the full spectrum of remedial pleasure, support, emotional well, all that sort of stuff, I think you really need to pick and choose. It's like a pick and mix of life.
Because because that's the thing, it's like sex ed, it's so the way and I don't remember what you think, like in school, it's a very male thing, isn't it? It's like there's a lot of focus on the penis, and that the sex is a penis and a vagina, and the end point is ejaculation kind of thing. It's sort of it's very like that. And actually, you know, the female's biggest sex organ is our brain, so it makes, you know, that's the thing. So when you speak, it makes complete sense that actually you do need, you know what I mean, you need to understand that so much of when it comes to women and sex is psychological. And I've always said, you know, you turn our brain on, then, you know, the gateway down there opens. Or if we feel good about ourselves, it kind of, you know, it's so connected, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, completely. And because we are, you know, either you turn our brain on or you quiet it down. You tell it to shut up. Because so much of it, or you give it space to be able to fill it up with other things that can turn ourselves on. Because I mean, we're in a very sexualized society, so we sort of visually and externally can know how to, you know, get the sex or attract, and you know, technology is helping us with all that sort of thing. But then once we come to the moment, to the crunch time, then the anxieties, the fear, the sort of, you know, lack of knowledge kicks in, because we think we should be doing XYZ, yet you don't know what you don't know. We weren't taught how to be mindful in sex, or how to, you know, get into our bodies, or how to look at sex in a different way rather than just, you know, that sort of same narrative.
Yeah. What do you think? What's like when you do the workshops and clients? What are the like the biggest misconceptions? Let's start with like when it comes to like female ejaculation, which is a complete minefield.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of women are like, are we meant to squirt? Is there something wrong with us if we don't? Can everyone do it? And then guys are like, how do we make them squirt? And if we can't make them squirt, then we're not doing something. We're doing it wrong. What's your advice and on all of that? The female ejaculation side of things.
Yeah. So, I mean, female ejaculation is quite a charged subject. You know, from, you know, being completely taboo to is it even real to I want to make someone squirt to should it be good feeling, is it an orgasm, all these sort of things. So number one is that our bodies are capable of so much more than we actually realize, because we're so sort of pushing them, we're not really giving them the space and time to really explore. So when, you know, female ejaculation has been around since the beginning, since humans have been around. You know, the first sort of recorded information about it was, I think, in 4th century China. So China, ancient India, ancient Greek, all of these sort of cultures that was part of what you do. I mean, men ejaculate, so do women. And I think, you know, because in the West, I talk about the West, maybe, you know, Europe type world, because it's being sort of more of a taboo, or there's more fear around, is it pee? Or because we're not taught about, you know, masturbation and things like that. So our brains are wired to think that it's bad, or we learn to clitorally orgasm, which is more of a pull up attention of our pelvic floor, yet to actually release and ejaculate, which in my experience and my understanding, pretty much if you have the plumbing, then you can ejaculate if you want to. It has to be a want. If you're really fear, you know, don't trust, are scared, then you won't. Your body won't. So everyone can do it. Oh, every woman, every cis-born woman. And yeah, because I mean, in parts of, you know, East Africa, for example, it's a tradition that has been passed on from many generations. So as a way of like being taught, you know, the men get taught how to please a woman and vice versa. And that's a way to sort of, well, from my sort of European understanding perspective, it's a way to, you know, create harmony within a marriage, which then creates harmony within the village, which then, you know, if they're happy, then there's cohesion, right? So pleasure is an important part of being happy.
Yeah.
So ejaculation, I think, can happen. You have to want it. You can't make anyone do it. You can make yourself do it if you're a woman. You can learn how to do it. But it's not always pleasurable. Some people don't really, it's sort of like, you know, whatever. Some people it's intensely perishable, a big release. Some people it's just a fun thing their body can do. And some people, get a full sort of to all sorts of spiritual heights with that sort of intense release. But some people find those sort of types of release maybe in a marathon. So it's a thing our body can do, which if we train it to, like a marathon, or teach it to, then we can do it if we want to. So I don't know if I answered the whole question there, but yeah, it's just one of those normal things our bodies can do. Yes, you can learn to do it, or do it to your partner if they want to do it. There's different techniques, but it's not so completely out there that it's only the certain selected few can do it.
And what would you say on because I think there's a lot of women have that block, don't they? I think because you have that messaging like all your life that sex is, you know, it's dirty, and it's kind of, you women know your place, and it should only be for your husband, and you know, it's pleasing the husband. There's still real messaging in probably age 30 plus women, even 20 plus women, that's just there. It's kind of a natural thought thing. So I know a lot of women, you know, when you're having conversations or you speak to members, that it's taken ages, and even like psychologically, to relax, for example, relax when a man is going down on them, and it's all about their pleasure. It's something that a lot of women find really awkward, And you lie there going, oh, I need to come really quickly because otherwise he's going to get bored and his tongue's going to get cramp, and you know what I mean, and do I smell down there, and does it taste disgusting? And it kind of, what's your advice on that? And like, are there any like tips to just chill out?
Yeah.
Chill the brain out and just be present and know that they are enjoying it most of the
Yeah.
time.
I mean, our brains try and pull the handbrake on us being in the present all the time. So we expect ourselves to, once we, have sex or have a meal or go on holiday, we expect ourselves, oh, this is a relaxing thing or a fun thing, so we should be able to enjoy it. But then we find ourselves worrying and worrying and worrying, even more so. So, and combined with the messaging, that all just gets all up in here. So it's it's not a hugely sexy tip, but communicating. Communication is so key. Saying what's going on, pausing, because if your partner or lover or whoever wants to give you pleasure, they may be doing their best work. But if you're not in full receive mode, then you can't download any of that goodness. So then what's happening? So I know it takes guts, but ideally, one major tip I always recommend is have a discussion not at a high stakes time. So not in the moment. So you can really be super relaxed, super easy with yourself, and know what it is that you do want, and maybe start off something super achievable. If you want to, and you have to sort of ideally, be practicing on yourself. If you don't know yourself, how can you sort of articulate in a real way, or show your partner in a real way? And that can be a shared journey, and ideally that is something that your partner wants to go on with you. But if you're giving them the expectation that you enjoy, the impression that you're enjoying this, then nothing's going to change. So clear communication, and out of a heated moment. So breakfast, have a sexy pancake.
Over cornflakes.
Yeah, over your cornflakes. Why not? And giving, or maybe practicing, with touch, practicing on a non-genital area. So I like this, I like it when you do this, and like really physically show people. And that can give, or show them what sort of pressure, what sort of speed on your hand. And then trying the genitals. And then go back to, oh, what if you did this? Or I've tried this way that I like. So try and normalize it. If there's so much that's unsaid, it's just going to build up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah, and you touched on it just now about like know what you like, and that you do a workshop for us like mindful masturbation, and we've had some really good sex educators on talking about masturbation and the importance of it, and what are sort of misconceptions on that, or what do you get asked about that? And some people have problems again making themselves orgasm, and so what's your advice on that? And also using toys and how to bring them in, and what's the best way?
So what I do, I work with people, a lot of particularly women come to me and say I can't orgasm unless or I can't orgasm at all, or I can't orgasm unless I'm in the stars are aligned and I'm in XY position and I've done this, and this whole sort of process. So what I do is I support them in like a 3-week self-pleasure practice.
Yeah.
And I call it self-pleasure because masturbation, language is important. Masturbation has a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
When we think masturbation, we think of certain things, or already might be loaded with expectations. So number one, it takes practice to rewire your brain to learn something different. Number two is take the goal out of the session. Really hard. Everyone wants to chase the orgasm, and if you need to masturbate quickly so you can sleep, do that. It's not bad. If you need to masturbate for, however you normally do that. It's not bad. But we allow time for the body, ideally, 10, 20, 30 minutes a day. And I guide people through that within their context, what's going to work for them. For the body to actually learn new neural pathways, new pleasure pathways. Because if you do the same thing all the time and all the time, then you're going to do the same thing all the time and all the time. So, and slowing down. So often there's lots of tension, there's lots of clenching when our bodies are open and have taken the time to, stretch or have a nice bath or, really release the muscles. Then we have blood flow, which helps us with engorgement, arousal, and feeling sensation. I could talk about all this for ages. So what we want is, that's why I think touch and massage, self-touch or giving partner touch can be so powerful, because we can get variation in sensation. So a lot of women need, because they've used toys, which is amazing, and toys are amazing and great, and you can't get addicted to them, but you can get into the habit of ingraining a specific neural, pleasure pathway that you need hard and fast, direct clitoral stimulation all the time. So when you take that off the menu, or have it near the menu, and play with light touch and stillness, and maybe different temperatures or different textures, and maybe not putting the pressure, the mental pressure to get somewhere, and just noticing sensation. Then coming back to building up with the toy, and then putting the toy aside, and then coming back to exploring different sensations around your whole body, not just erogenous.
So basically teasing yourself.
Yeah, you're sort of building a sensation foundation, so you can have, I keep on saying pick and mix, so you can have this sort of choice, this variation to play with, rather than just one channel. You want the whole Sky package, right? And then your body can access different sort of pathways of pleasure, whether it's with yourself or in different situations or with different partners, quicker, rather than worrying, oh, this is the only way I can make it come. And just like taking it, taking the pressure out of it. Having fun. It doesn't have to be so serious. And maybe, all the other people that you've had, all the other educators are, are powerhouses, and what type of, toy to use, and all these sort of things. So gather information and you'll find what is going to work for you. Maybe you're not a toy person. Maybe you don't want to spend 5 minutes on touching yourself. Maybe you want to go to a different environment. Maybe you're an ecosexual. Who knows? Just try all the things that sort of connect to you, or that you find that you're naturally drawn to, and just start different. Start approaching your body in a fresh way that maybe, a new lover might look at yourself as your own lover in a new way. And that can be hard. It's a bit like tickling yourself. It sounds all great in theory, and then you get to day 3 and you're like, I just want to quick.
And what, because there's also like masturbating, or the whole mindful of conversation around libido and masturbation, and men think that they're they need to stay erect and keep going for like a good 10 minutes, and it's sort of that kind of the myths around that. Is there because a lot of guys are like we need to last longer, and you're like, well, how do you know you need to last longer? Like, what's the law and the rule for how long you should last, or how many times you should masturbate? And I know I could have a month with nothing, and then suddenly I'm like, have a really fucking horny week, and it's like twice a day, and you know what I mean? It's like, but every day's different.
Every day is different, and and stress, this sort of generic term that we bandy about so easily, like stress and depression, these words that we just like throw around, are really real things. They're super serious things, and they affect our bodies in massive ways, particularly libido. So they really affect our function or ability to access pleasure or perform. So, and who is prescribing this 10 minutes 10 times a day myth? Like, we've got this unspoken, oh, I'm not orgasming fast enough, or I can't last long enough. Well, who said? I mean, particularly with erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation, with my male clients, they've come to me and said, I've got this and I've got this. I said, okay, well, who diagnosed this?
Yeah.
or were you just reading in a magazine, or your mate just said?
Or you're watching porn. Basically, I think porn's got a lot to answer for. It's like, you know, you're meant to last half an hour and throw the women into 30,000 different positions, and she comes 5 times before you've even ejaculated, and you're like, bollocks.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolute bollocks.
yeah.
But someone just asked, actually, there's quite a few questions I've got from people. Someone just asked about eye contact. How do you, because yeah, we've all been there and had that awkward, you know, I'm a little bit embarrassed and I'm not going to look them in the eye and I want all the lights off. And yeah, what's your advice on that? And just sort of, yeah, being in the moment and just not having that really awkward, you know, oh my God, I'm about to have my goofy dog sex face going on.
So yeah, if it I would say if it's something that you want to do. So number one, if you want to do it and explore it, then start. If it's just not for you, I would have write it off completely. It might not be right for you now. But how to start, if you're really awkward about it and want to start, would be to practice on yourself in the mirror. So eye gaze at yourself. You know, give yourself the best face that you would want to look at in whatever moment. I know it sounds weird, but then you can sort of you can practice. I mean, people are taking selfies all the time. So use that, use that sort of method, and then and look how you would, you know, if you're feeling like really awkward, look at how that awkward, and just breathe into it. Just look at it. You don't need to judge or analyze. Just say, oh, that's how I look when I feel this way, and then maybe try on different positions or try on different sort of faces and at yourself, because it's a non-pressure. Or get a best friend and do it over a glass of wine. That would also be fun.
Yeah.
But try it in a I always say non-high stake moment, because then you're practicing, your body's learning. It takes a little while for our body to learn. Our brain can pick up on things very, very quick. We can understand intellectually so quick, but we don't allow our bodies the time to download the information and to integrate the information. So then when we don't perform, we put all this pressure or we get our anxiety because we understand we can do it, but we don't give time and space for our body to do it. So yeah, practice in front of the mirror with a friend, or even, I keep on saying breakfast, even over cornflakes, like with your partner. And then once it becomes a little bit normal, or once you've sort of shaken the awkwardness off, then it might come more naturally.
Yeah, and the other thing is the whole faking it. That, you know, there's been so much stats out of, I can't remember what is it, you know, it's so high, isn't that? Of there isn't many people. Yeah, the proportion of women actually coming through actual penetrative sex is really, really low.
Yeah.
And someone's just asked, like, how a man's like, I'm assuming it's a man, you might be a lesbian couple, so I'm sorry if I forgot it. But how do you know if your partner's faking it?
Yeah, I mean, how do you know? Well, it depends on how well you know your partner intimately, I guess. So, you know, with I don't know how long you've been with your partner, but you probably know when they're lying, or when they've sort of like done something that's not quite aligned. So I guess if you're trying to figure out if they're faking it, then maybe there needs to be a bit more action or chat around that subject anyway.
Yeah, and a bit of communication around what will not make her fake it. Like, what do they like? What is gonna make them come? And have that kind of communication.
Yeah, rather than sort of make these assumptions or try and fix something that hasn't been spoken about or addressed. You know, we can sort of get into this like non-communicative head talk, and our partner may have no idea. That just might be their way of, that they might not be faking it. Or they really might be, and it's something that they've bottled up and they're really ashamed of, and maybe just having or starting a conversation in a really easy, you know, loving way can be just the start of maybe something massive. So I would put the emphasis off from how do you know to maybe if there's a question, then bring it up.
And finding out what they feel like, really. Yeah. And also the other way around, it's sort of, you know, I remember saying this to a girlfriend recently. She's like, oh, I've been faking it for a year. And I'm like, well, that's on you. You know what I mean? How do they know you know, why would you do that?
So, it's not fair to you or to your partner.
Exactly, and that's the thing. You kind of, because there are times when you just know you're not going to, because your mind's elsewhere. You've got a to-do list coming out of your ass.
Yeah.
So you still enjoy it, but you just know that that endpoint just isn't going to happen.
Yeah, and if there's so much pressure on each person completing or performing, then maybe you need to look at that as well. You know, maybe it's not always going to be end in, you know, tick tick, come. So maybe, you know, if you are feeling a bit head busy but still want to play, then just say that. Normally, so, you know, it just takes a few words, and once we can actually, you know, get it out, then we can actually get into all of this fun stuff rather than be up in here second guessing, mind games, anticipating. Yeah, you know, someone said, you know, we want to be body fucking, not head fucking.
Yeah. And on the how important do you think it is? Because that's the thing, as part of the thing, that pressure to get to the end point.
Yeah.
And that again is a very sort of thousands of years of the patriarchal way of sex, of the end point. That is the end point. So how important is to like realize that actually sex is everything, and it encompasses everything, and actually neither of you need to get to the end point, because actually there is so much.
Yeah.
There's 50 shades, well, 3,000 shades of sex that you can explore and do. And sometimes if you don't, yeah, as you said, if you don't focus on that specific end thing, it kind of becomes a byproduct, which you'll do without really thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it does come down to also, I think, you know, we put so much expectation and pressure on if you're in a relationship or the other, you know, to
Yeah.
make it happen. But the importance of solo sex, solo love, solo pleasure, solo exploration is, in my opinion, is where it needs to happen first, or it needs to always be revisited, even if you're in a long-term relationship, even if you're bored, or even if whatever, to keep on coming back to you with the, you know, your sex with yourself, and whatever
Mm-hmm.
sex might mean. It could be just pleasure, it could be, you know, orgasmic food eating, who knows. And the spectrum is huge, but when we can be creative and curious within our own bodies, then we approach other bodies in a lot more sort of open-minded way. So yeah, I think knowing that maybe the word sex is limited, or just expanding the word sex, maybe that's why I like to use pleasure, because
Yeah.
that seems to be a bit wider in sort of interpretation.
Yeah. And someone said, "What? Yeah, would it not be awkward to ask my partner, what do you want me to change about the sex we have?" But doesn't that come down to just changing the way you say it? It's like, what do you like?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, sometimes, you know, it's really hard to change a communication style when you've been in a long-term relationship, even more so than just coming out with it right at the beginning of the relationship. I personally think, you know, because you're in habits, you're in existing norms already. So you know your partner the best, you know, and even if you don't know them that well, then I guess doing it a way that, you know, you don't want to jump over the edge and feel freaked out that you're going to hurt them or whatever. Do it in a way that's sort of near the edge, maybe, or in a way that, think about how you would like to be told. That can always be a good start. You know, use really nice language, or you don't need to package it up in such a beautiful way, but think about how it would land with you. And maybe, yeah, everyone is so different about how they're going to take, you know, suggestions
Yeah.
or a bit of direction. So it might be that you could, you know, if you're really, really nervous, start off making something together, making a meal together. And, you know, sometimes doing something like that, or going for a drive where you're already in an activity, a shared, nice activity, it can sort of flow naturally. Yeah, not just before sex, or not just after, or during, or maybe have a sort of real, you know, frame your playtime as a more explorative, teaching each other type session.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be so structured, but it'll be like, oh, I learned this new thing today, I want to show you, and then I would like to learn a new thing about you. Or just having, you know, make it fun and playful, rather than so heavy, because yeah, it is an exploration, and constantly, our bodies are changing all the time, particularly women, you know, going through all the
Yeah.
hormonal and body
I
life.
did everything. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Babies, not babies, pregnant. Well, I've been pregnant 3 times in the last 6 years. I literally do not know my arse from my elbow when it comes to my hormones and my moods and anything.
I know, and
Nothing.
then you've got menopause to look forward to soon. So, I mean, women's bodies go through, you know, a rampage. So,
Yeah.
pleasure should be a priority for us in particular, even just as self-regulation, just basic, you know, entry level pleasure should be
Yeah,
very,
exactly.
very.
And on and just going just because it's noticed time and we can like talk for hours and hours. But I just wanted to touch on a couple of the other like the workshops you do. So we touched on like a lot of the pussy massage and the penis massage. So on like the penis massage, because a lot of people would be like, wow, that's pretty straightforward. What's the workshop on that? You know, a pussy massage. It's like literally a minefield down there, and they're all completely different and different points. And so, but on a penis massage workshop on that front, what would people expect in that, and what were the tips you give out in that?
Yeah, so I think it's more like with both any genital massage, you know, it's approaching, you know, normally when our genitals are touched, they're usually in a sexual situation or a medical situation. So we never think, oh, I might go for a genital massage, you know, just as a way of releasing muscles, just, you know, just giving some care and love and attention and, you know, touch. As we would maybe, you know, let's go for a facial, or let's go for shoulder massage or head massage, foot massage. So why it can be so good is to have that that basic sort of connection and touch. And it can be really good in releasing actual muscles all around the pelvic floor. And we're not getting into too sort of really deep, you know, physiotechnical stuff. It is possible. But it's sort of having that different intention of how you might touch or massage your genitals. And that can be, a real neutral point, which is just your massaging your genitals for self-care. Or it could be to head towards to more of a sensual erotic point, and maybe as part of your foreplay or your partner. So it's slowing things down and being curious and creative with your different touches and different sensations on each individual sort of part of the anatomy. So it could be the testicles, the perineum, the shaft, the head, the frenulum, and sort of helping someone focus their attention on the genitals and pleasure and sensation, and then being able to spread that around their whole body rather than sort of crouch over and really just
rather than just like, you know, the whole tromboning kind of classic move.
Exactly. So it's slowing down so you can hang out in the pleasure zone longer. You don't need an erection all the time. It doesn't matter. Whatever way it comes in, it doesn't matter. And it's not about, you know, getting to the end goal. It's more about hanging out in the pleasure and finding new ways to receive touch.
Yeah, and also you're doing an anal one as well, which so what I'd say what's that? Obviously it's an asshole. But on that front, because that's you know, even they're very simple. So what?
But surprisingly very technical. So I do, you know, lots of sort of internal massage. I do a jaw massage, you know, with all these sort of points in our bodies, in our orifices. So our jaw, our vagina, our anus are all hold a lot of tension. Why? Because of, you know, of various reasons. But anal massage and the sphincters in the anus can, when that's so linked to, you know, our regulation, our nervous system, that when we can release the different sphincters, which sounds weird, but when we can, you know, there's a lot of shame, there's a lot of tension, like whether, you know, from potty training or, you know, childbirth, you know, you've done it 3 times, like there's
ruined me. 3 natural births. I basically ended up with a vajas, as I call it. Sorry, too much information there.
Well, I mean, but it's not, because that's, you know, that's pretty standard, which, you know, so this information, how to care for your perineum, how to care for your vagina, how to care for your, you know, anus, and know that there's care out there, that can not only fix and remedy whatever tension or pressure or scar has happened, it can also bring back sensation and ease and relax and you know, pleasure if you want to explore there as well. So yeah, it's more of a healthy way to look at your genitals in a way, and body and how
yeah. And just finally, because you touched on it briefly, like the mindful masturbation, but there's a whole, you know, there's a lot out there, and I see it all the time, just about mindful sex, and that, and especially at the moment, you know, I just think it's really important because everyone is super stressed, really anxious, feeling very out of control, nothing, you know, it's chopping and changing the whole time. So what is mindful sex, and what are kind of basic things people can try and do to be mindful in the bedroom?
Well, I think, you know, this word mindfulness, it's a very hashtagable word. It's a very sort of, you know, trendy word. And my interpretation of it is to be able to feel what we're feeling, not think what we're feeling. So more often than not, when we are aroused, there's more of a sense of pressure to perform, to please, timing, maybe fantasies, which, you know, are all fine, but there's lots of head stuff. So, you know, what I was talking about before, if you're giving, you know, if someone's giving and the other person's giving, then who's receiving? Where's the gift of pleasure going? No one's going. So we want to be able to allow the environment to help get ourselves out of our heads and into our bodies, which sounds a bit woo-woo, but tips to do that is create an environment that appeases all your senses. So there's low lighting, which increases oxytocin, which gets all this, you know, yummy, safe, warm, cozy feelings. There's a nice smell, which is sensual. It doesn't remind you of, you know, lavender. Oh, yeah.
You know, yeah.
So that smell, then create a sexy playlist that doesn't remind you of your breakup song from 1990, wherever. It's nice and sensual, no words that you're going to attach to. Make sure it's warm enough. Women's bodies cool down quicker. We've got a high percentage of body fat. If we're cold, we're going to be tense and thinking. You know, all of these sort of things, you know, you don't have to go and create a whole tantric temple, but create a change, particularly if you're working in your home, you're living in your home, you know, with your partner in your home. We want to create a little bit of variation. Otherwise, everything can start to just, you know, merge into track pants central, which is fine, but we want to, you know, dress up for each other, create a change, create an environment that will help create a sense of newness, which will then give you a sort of a sense of being aware of something different, so that your brain can attach to something. Another tip would be, do not underestimate or forget the power of breath.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't need to be too woo-woo or fully, you know, cyclic, orgasmic, circular breathing, or too technical. It can be, but keep it, if you're beginning this sort of journey, just keep it so simple. And as soon as you start to get up into your head, come back to either a full, deep body breath. It will slow your whole nervous system down, and it allows yourself to focus on your body and allows yourself a chance to focus on sensation rather than head stuff. So keep sensation based.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things to do, but that would be good. That would be a good start.
That'd be a good thing, yeah. And when's the next workshop you're doing for us?
So the next one I'm doing for you is in mid-November.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we've just done a series of 4, one with toys and one with a live model. So that was a good combo. And yeah, there's I do private online workshops as well, or tuition if some of the people wanted the slides. So if that I had in the workshops, so they can contact me one-on-one, and I can do
And you're just you're Jessica Parker. Jessica Parker, really, isn't it?
Oh yeah, my website's jessicaparker.co. So that has on there, and up workshops and things.
Wicked, well, thank you very much. If anyone's got any questions for Jessica, just like privately, she's very active on Instagram, so hit her up, stalk her. And yeah, thank you very much, and we'll see you in November.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. See you later. Bye. Bye. She was great. We could speak for hours. Any kind of workshop to do with sex. She does. We will be back next Wednesday. Can't actually remember who we've got next Wednesday. Can't remember. But I know we've got the world's leading sex robotics expert, Kate Devlin. I think she may be next Wednesday. But anyway, we will see you soon. And if anyone's bored, then get on all our workshops and our house parties every weekend. And yes, this will be available to all our basically all the Wednesday chats we do are all up on our IGTV on Instagram. They're all there. So if you haven't seen any of them, have a look at all the different topics because we've had some really big and cool people on there. Nothing to do with me. The guests are just amazing. So we will see you soon. Bye.